breaking down the best weapons to use against the Terminus boss fight in Black Ops 6 Zombies. This will include a full breakdown of every gun's meta build in the Gunsmith that I've spent over 15 boss fight runs testing, so you have the best weapon to use against the boss. So if you appreciate a video like this, let me and YouTube know by clicking the thumbs up button. First weapon we're going to start with is the GPMG-7 LMG. At max rarity and pack-a-punch, the build I'm showing has 350 bullets in a magazine. And with the napalm burst ammo mod equipped, you can see that within seconds we complete the first phase of the boss fight. And because this weapon is so powerful, I do this all without having to reload because of how much ammo it has. I was truly amazed at how powerful this LMG was in this boss fight, and it's an incredibly practical weapon to use as it's actually good at taking down zombies as well as the boss. And with its ridiculous ammo size, you will very rarely ever need to reload. Jumping into phase 2, you can see that again, firing straight into the boss's mouth, we are doing 968 damage per bullet, and with so many bullets, you can again almost take down the boss within one single clip during this phase. Once the boss has had enough damage taken during its mouth phase, its next weak point is its tentacles. And with that insane damage and fire rate, you can continuously shoot at these tentacles again without ever needing to really reload. And then moving into its final phase, I think the footage speaks for itself, where during certain moments, no matter where on the body, you can still do the max damage that's possible with this weapon being 1320. And once I've avoided the wipe attack and get out of the water, with Idolize equipped, it takes mere seconds for me to take down this boss. It is absolutely insane. And with so much ammo, you'll never really ever have to buy ammo from the ammo box behind you, as you'll just use the free max ammo from the boss phases. So diving into the Gunsmith, you want to have the compensator muzzle, the CHF barrel, the crossbar underbarrel, extended mag 4, commando grip, light stock, and steady aim laser. Now the crossbar underbarrel is all down to you, as that's what gives this weapon the tack stance effect when you're ADS, so you don't actually aim down a sight. Now you could choose to change the steady aim laser for the Strelok laser, but in doing so we'll remove that crossbar underbarrel. The next weapon I recommend you try is another LMG, the PU-21. At full max rarity and pack-a-punch, this has 201 bullets in a magazine and actually does slightly more damage per bullet, at least on its most critical spot, than the GPMG-7 LMG. Again, when paired with a napalm burst ammo mod, you'll be able to do the max damage and be able to complete the first phase within 10 to 15 seconds of starting the boss fight. And whilst this weapon has a lot less bullets in a magazine than the previous LMG, it feels a lot more of a hard-hitting weapon to use, and especially with this setup, feels very reminiscent of the LSAT LMG back in Black Ops 2. During the second phase of the boss fight, where again you need to focus first on his mouth and then his tentacles, this did a lot more damage to the tentacles a little bit quicker than the previous LMG. And in the final phase, it's also extremely efficient when the boss isn't in his glowing blue form to do his wipe attack. To me, this is still a solid choice for the boss fight, but I feel you lack slightly less mobility and ammo compared to the GPMG-7, but it still might be worth running as it is very good against the boss. So jumping into the Gunsmith, you want to have the OM392 hold optic, the suppressor muzzle, the gain twist barrel, vertical foregrip, extended mag 2 if you want to have 250 bullets in a mag, a quick draw rear grip, infiltrator stock, and fast motion laser. Now this next weapon is absolutely going to be one you want to try the boss fight with, and it's the brand new special Sirin 9mm. At max rarity and pack-a-punch with napalm burst, in this first phase it was doing LMG damage if not slightly higher. But you have it in a compact SMG AR hybrid form factor, and the damage from this thing is so insane that I took the first phase of the boss fight down in literally 20 seconds. The critical damage that this thing has at its max rarity paired with Deadshot is utterly insane, being 12,000. So pairing it against the zombies you've got to fight in the boss fight, as well as wanting something that will make you as mobile and fast as possible while still being as powerful as possible, this is one of the ultimate boss fight weapons right now. In the second phase, it did not break a sweat whatsoever, with the critical mouth area doing over 1,000 damage. Nearly 1,700 damage per shot to the tentacles made this second phase absolutely easy mode. Third and final phase really needs to be seen to be believed. I mean, just look at the health bar on this thing. It is absolutely ridiculous. I got extremely lucky where it stayed where the fire damage is the most strong against the boss, but I mean, look at it. it did not stand a chance. And in its wipe phase, when napalm burst isn't the best, it was still able to take it out within seconds of it charging up that attack. It is without doubt the best weapon in the game right now. And because it's a special weapon, there are very little attachments that you can actually put on this, so it's a very simple build. We will want to run the optic iron sight, the suppressor, long barrel, vertical foregrip, and then extended mag 1. Another gun you should use to run in the Terminus boss fight that was dominant at the launch of the game but has been slightly nerfed, but is still really good, is the GS45 Akimbo. When Pack-a-Punch, these become the Sally and Fourth, being completely explosive pistols, and in Akimbo allows you to shoot 24 explosive bullets at the boss in quick succession, doing extremely high damage. In this example, I only have it at Pack-a-Punch level 2 with dead wire ammo mod equipped, and whilst it's not as powerful as it was at the launch of the game, it is still incredibly good against the boss. It's also fantastic for crowd control during the boss fight as well. You have a ton of bullets in each of the pistols before you need to reload, but the only downside to these is the fact that you will have to buy ammo fairly often, as you can very quickly run out of them by just shooting them so quickly. In general, the GS45 Akimbos is still one of the best all-round weapons to use in the game, in both general gameplay and against the boss fight, and as long as you have PhD flopper equipped, then you should have no trouble getting through this boss or the zombies with this weapon. So diving into the loadout, you want to have the suppressor muzzle for that extra salvage when you're building up to go into the boss fight with this weapon, the extended mag 2, of course the akimbo stock, steady aim laser, and then the rapid fire mods that you can shoot this weapon as fast as possible. Another incredibly powerful weapon you want to use in the Terminus boss fight is the XMG LMG, where in its first phase shooting its critical spot, I was getting 1914 damage, which might be some of the highest damage possible from any weapon in the game. And in its crit spot, we managed to get through the first phase with this weapon in about 15 to 20 seconds flat. It is utterly insane. At max rarity and max Pack-a-Punch, it has 300 bullets in a magazine. With the build I'm going to show you, this feels like it has the mobility of an assault rifle, but yet has the damage and the ammo capacity of an LMG. It's a really good combination. During the second phase, I was able to do 1,276 damage per crit hit to the mouth, and then against the tentacles, I was doing 1,531 damage per bullet. The only slight downside to this weapon is because of that extended mag, the reloads, even with speed cola, are a little slow. So when running any LMG in a boss fight, it's highly recommended to put on the speed cola augment that allows the speed cola reload to be even more faster than it normally is. Paired with the napalm burst ammo mod, it is extremely effective at taking out all the hordes of zombies in this boss fight, as well as the main boss itself. And in the final phase, we were absolutely chonking on the boss's health like it was nothing. Really, really powerful and fun weapon to use that I definitely recommend. So diving into the build, you want the Prismatech Reflex, the suppressor muzzle, gain twist barrel, precision foregrip, extended mag 1, quick draw grip, light stock, and steady aim laser. You could equip extended mag 2, but I think this will make your sprint to fire speed and overall mobility a little bit slower than what you'd want. So the extended mag 1 has no negatives whatsoever. Now, if you're looking for a weapon that does the most damage to the boss out of anything in the game, then it is the Sigma launcher. Against the boss, it is able to do 27,270 damage per shot, but the downside to this Sigma is when fully Pack-a-Punched and max rarity, it only has 15 rockets, which goes extremely quickly. So whilst this is without doubt the fastest and most strongest weapon to use against it, you will need to make sure that you have a lot of points backed up so you can buy ammo for this weapon from the ammo cache. It is absolutely insane for this boss fight, but I definitely recommend that you have a backup weapon to use to take out the zombies during the phases. During phase 2, shooting the boss's mouth with this is extremely easy, but when it comes to the tentacles, that's where it gets a little tricky to shoot them with this weapon. So it's definitely going to require some patience, some good timing, or using that secondary weapon you brought in to really get those hits on the tentacles just to finish phase 2 out. But the third and final phase is where, using a combination of gobblegums, you can get this complete within seconds. And that is combining the idolized gobblegum along with the free fire gobblegum, as it will allow you to shoot the weapon infinitely for 30 seconds, never having to reload. And as you can see here, if you can constantly land those critical shots, then the boss will be wiped before your idolize will even have a chance to run out. It is an incredible weapon to use. It's definitely a weapon that you'll want to get right before the boss fight rather than getting it early in the game. And because it's a rocket launcher, there are no attachments in the Gunsmith, so just grab it and use it and destroy Patient 13. Now, if you're looking to be as mobile as possible in the boss fight but still still have an incredibly powerful weapon, then the AS Val Assault Rifle is another weapon I recommend against the boss fight, where critical damage is 1452, and because this has such a fast fire rate with such a high amount of damage, this will feel equivalent to an LMG in terms of damage and being able to rapidly take out the boss fight during its first phase. And because it's an assault rifle, and with the build I'm going to show you, you are extremely quick, being able to very swiftly move around the map, taking full advantage of that omni movement to be able to dodge all of the zombies. When fully maxed out, you have 135 bullets in a magazine, which is really nice for an assault rifle, and because of the specific barrel that it has on, it's able to do more damage than most ARs. Overall, it's an incredibly powerful weapon to use in this boss fight and for taking out zombies, making this a fantastic all-rounder to use when going for this Easter egg. So going over the attachments, I ran the Kevlar Microflex Optic. The suppressed long barrel is the barrel that you're going to want to put on this weapon because it adds a suppressor but also increases the damage range, making this a much better choice over the CHF barrel, which you would typically add on most assault rifles. You'll want to use the Ranger foregrip, the extended mag 3, ergonomic grip, combat stock, steady aim laser, and recoil springs. Now, one of the best guns to use in this boss fight, even after Season 1's nerfs and changes, is the ASG shotgun. This is one of the most popular boss fight weapons to use, and for good reason, because it is absolutely incredible. With an amazing fire rate, extremely high damage, and having amazing range as well. In this example, I'm showing it with the Shadow Rift ammo mod for the final phase, and it absolutely cleaned up Patient 13 in phase 1. Another huge benefit to this weapon is that it's available as a wall buy immediately on Terminus, so you don't even need to get it off the box or spawn in with it necessarily. Because it is a fully automatic shotgun, you don't really need to do anything at all besides just aim at the boss and shoot. It is seriously that easy. Just look how insane this was in the final phase of the boss. Idolize and Shadow Rift equipped when it's doing its wipe attack. Just look at the damage that you're able to do. It is absolutely insane. Just look at its health bar. It is just falling and falling and falling. And within about 10 seconds or so, we were able to take Patient 13 down completely. If you're looking for one of the best all-round boss fight weapons, then this is it right here. Diving into the loadout, you want to run the full choke muzzle, the Ranger foregrip, extended mag 2, light stock, steady aim laser, and then here you can choose to either run the 12 gauge Dragon's Breath, which I'm doing here, which isn't necessarily an important attachment as it doesn't add any extra damage to the boss. It's incredibly useful against zombies in the boss and of course in the general game, but if you don't want to run that, you can also switch this to the rapid fire attachment so you can shoot even faster. Another weapon which I recommend you try as it is so fun is the SVD sniper. As when Pack-a-Punch, this becomes a sniper shotgun which shoots 3 bullets in one tight spread. Now this is a weapon where at first you wouldn't expect it to be good in Black Ops 6 Zombies, but it is incredible for taking out zombie hordes and against the boss as it has limitless damage range. And as mentioned, when Pack-a-Punch, it becomes a shotgun sniper. It has a really tight hip fire where you don't necessarily have to ADS in order to do max damage. And as you can see, every time I shoot at the boss, it actually does 2 to 3 pellets of damage, which is really good over time. This isn't the fastest of firing weapons against the boss, but because it is a sniper, it is incredibly accurate at dealing a lot of damage. And when it comes to taking out the hordes within the boss fight, this is a literal 1 to 2 tap destroyer when it comes to manglers. It is absolutely insane. Now, the best ammo mod to run in this boss fight is Napalm Burst, but in this example, I had Dead Wire, and you can see that it's still extremely effective against the boss, finishing the first part of the second stage with his mouth very quickly. And because it's a sniper, you can deal with the tentacles from a really far distance with relative ease. The only slight downside to this weapon is that it has a bit of a slower rate of fire than what you typically would want in this boss fight, but it is still extremely good. And in the final phase against the boss, we're able to do consistently 2,400 damage. And again, it's amazing against manglers, and it's also incredible for amalgams too, just deleting any specials and elites in your way. So jumping into the loadout, I ran the Kevlar Red Dot Optic, but you can choose to run whatever optic you want because it is a sniper. I went with the suppressor muzzle for the extra salvage, the precision handguard overpowered underbarrel, extended mag 2, the light stock, steady aim laser to help with that hip fire, and the rapid fire mod so that you can shoot this thing as quickly as possible. And the final weapon I recommend for the Terminus boss fight is the Strider 22 akimbo pistols. These are a really fun alternative to the GS45s that when fully pack-a-punched and max rarity has 160 bullets per reload, and it has an incredibly fast fire rate, being able to put in an insane amount of damage to the boss extremely quickly. And because it's akimbo, you're able to do essentially double the damage with every bullet. Paired with a napalm burst ammo mod, you're able to get through the first phase of the boss fight extremely quickly with this, doing 1,914 damage to its critical spot. And in phase 2 posed no problem for the boss when it came to its mouth as well as its tentacles. The only slight downside is that you have to constantly be firing these. These are semi-auto pistols, but they absolutely melt zombies in this boss fight, and they absolutely melt Patient 13. It's crazy when you consider how much damage this can do to the boss. Some assault rifles in the game only get 2/3 of the damage that these pistols can do. I think these are a really fun alternative to the GS45s, and so diving into the loadout, you want to run the suppressor muzzle, the CHF barrel, extended mag 2, akimbo Strider stock, and the rapid fire attachment. But that rounds up the 10 best overpowered weapons to use against the boss fight in Terminus. Let me know how these builds go for you in the comments section down below. If you've made it this far and enjoyed the video, please drop it a thumbs up, as I really appreciate it and it helps YouTube push this out to as many people that need help as possible. And if you want a video like this breaking down the best boss fight weapons to use in Citadel Daemore's boss fight, then be sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss that. And if it's already up, then you can click it on your screen right now, or whatever video is there, go click it and give it a watch.